Take that soothsayer, that knave, and flog him. Kamchin bizni, with whips until he tells where the stolen horses are. Chapter 13. Meantime, excitement in the city waxed high. The money changer fell ill. In grief, as gham kaise the money changer najur shudali, and took to his bed. The grandee, who with grievous perturbation of spirit and no little injury to his health, had just come away from his nocturnal interview with the Khan concerning the mysterious flight of the Peshawar prisoners. वो बिस्यार हाल खराबा, वो तो उशिश नहीं है, वो ताज़ा स्पेश खान अंदर जवाब देता कि ये पेशावरिया गुजर कि फरार कदा as jail, was confronted with the threat of further and still more painful interviews as a result of this theft. गुफ्ताल दो ज़िम्बलेज़ी शुदा सुबह भी हमारा तफ़कार दो रहा Grandia. In troubled anticipation thereof, the grandee resembled a thunder-bearing cloud, through which nonetheless a hidden smile would break ever and anon like a momentary sunbeam, a smile begotten by secret thoughts respecting the coming races. يخو بسيار ده تفتا از بس تكون جي خان بليزو تقرير كده لكن ده منيزي تمامي clouds یک بیم لایت هم جم smile ده دیر از دیر شي یک خبری خوش استا که او دباره چیز استا کم سیکریت گواه استا دباره زی ریسیز که درو شروع شده نیه اسب دوانی where his Tekkens would no longer meet their dangerous Arab rivals. اینجا خوی ندوزیش ده مقابله زی چیزی زی تکین زی گوده زی یک مهمی دیدنم ده بود نه تازه یه مخواست بین رفت مقابله نیه یه نباشارش باشه این میدان از مایه. The Khan summoned the grandee to his bedchamber that night. باز بوده ده خوابگاه خواست. The audience was a very short one, all the speech issuing from one side, while the other's part in the interview was necessarily restricted to salams, to a twitching of mustache, to a rolling up of eyes, to an uplifting of hands to the sky, and to other word substituting bodily movements, without which the sons and daughters of mankind would verily at times experience insurmountable difficulties in affairs official, not to mention affairs conjugal. The grandee went forth from before the Khan's presence, sallow of visage, and summoned before him instantly all the major and medium chiefs. بعد از این ملاقات رفت هر چیزی سرکرده بود دمانه پلیس تمام شده گفت پایین اینجا جمشی. His speech with them was short, even than that of his lord with him. سر مختصرا ونار گفت چیز کار کردنی. The major and medium chiefs in their turn summoned before them the minor chiefs. اونا was رزه رزه افسرهای دیگر کوی کرد. The speech there consisted of a few expletives. As to the lower ranks, that is the common spies and guards, no word at all were vouchsafed them, and all they received were cuffs. Such a disquieting night had not been known in Kokand for a long time. بسیار امید گرنگ شاوه دیگه. تمام بیزی افسرها تمام کوی شده فهمیدی. صرف guards و همی جاسای معمولی اونا را خبر نکرده دیگه تمام هرچی که آفیشله تمام شد میتینگ بشیش. In all the streets, squares and alleys there was a clank and rattle of arms and a glint of spears, shields and sabers in the cold moonlight where the guards were searching for the thieves. Ali هیچ نفر نمانده که شمشیر بر نکرده باشه نیزر بر نکرده بس دوز بر نشده باشه. کوچه ده کوچه گرینگ کلنگ صدای سر صدای. The pitch fires on the watchtowers shot dark red tongues of flame. بله یزو منارا که مو آتش داغا از دور دورم تر شولای زمالو میده into the serene sky and a smoky glow hung over the city. بازم دود وری بله سر شهر میتر بل کوچه شهر کوچه. The night watch exchanged mournful calls. Chowkidarai Shao ke istavanam, Sarsadaish Bala. Hundreds of spies lay hidden about the dark corners. Under the bridges, the Taipula, in the gasp of garden walls, the Baini Dewalai Bagha, on waste plots, Palatai Khali, and the cemeteries with the Qabristana. The major and medium chiefs, attended by the minor chiefs and the lower ranks, made a personal round of all chaykhanas. And caravansarais. They visited also the chaykhana in which slept Khoja Nasreddin. And played a flaming torch over his face. He did not even open his eyes, although he could feel his beard cracking and smell the odor of signed hair. The one-eyed thief was not with him that night. Amatish ke orada check mana ruye zirna bikhim mahsus mana ke mi rish me daro darda dare mi sholezi chra bikhim tur rishaish chandanish buyam mi dak dar khorna de binish bazam chmar khab gireft ma khaw mushaw was one item khazina bad. Morning brought with it no tranquility for the town. Subaisha mein mitra al kharaba tamam shar da gulgulaya. Towards midday, Nimiros the Grande and his numerous retinue appeared upon the bridge of the beheaded. Ki Grande qad tamam sar saman ko mere se bilizmi pul. Ki taviz mi diya. His eyes blazed, his mustache bristled, and his voice struck terror into men's hearts. He stretched forth his right hand, and lo, two mounted soldiers sprang forward from the body of the horseman, one upon a bay stallion, the other upon a grey. The first, flourishing his riding whip and hanging sideways over the saddle, rushed along the bridge at a furious gallop, with a whoop and a whistle, bringing a wave of hot air mixed with horse sweat sweeping over the soothsayers. Kinar hukum mein tha ki barit bazam manzar bayan mana chirkham ke mubikhi bui araqi asba qadam zi garmi dams bile tamam zi taviz degratish. The second diga swar headed his horse downstream crossed the shallow Sai river in a cloud of spray, leapt out onto the opposite bank, the Usar Rasid, at a single bound, just, and disappeared in one of the by streets. The Grande stretched forth his hand in another direction, and the foot guards rushed thither in a jostling, crushing throng, amid a clank of shields, sabers, and spears. Thereupon, the Grande directed his steps towards the old man, the chief soothsayer, and held secret converse with him. Khoja Nasreddin could hear nothing from where he sat, but he guessed every word. They were discussing, of course, the means by which the stolen horses could be recovered. The old man promised to summon to his aid all the supernatural agencies under his authority. Supernatural agencies, مثل جنات وغيرها وغيرها كذا تهدك فرمان زيا ونهار ديك خبر كدنيا, including those which lay concealed within the skull. وخصوصا هو agency هاي كذا مني خودي كوبري بندنا ونهارم خبر كدنيا كباي شو معلومات بين شيخ سا شو غايوانا ولوندرين. The Grande snorted and twitched his mustache. He had not come there to listen to silly fairy tales. चीले लगाई गई रे रुस्त रुस्त मारा जवाब भी दे देगा. He desired things done. Mara aspara gumshuda aspada karma. Each which is The old man had no choice but to resort to the earthly agencies under his authority. Asbad ki asmani wala nahi chila, am zamini wala guftamana ke zerdis masten. Amin ashmubain. Accordingly, the soothsayers were all questioned as to those fortunes they had told yesterday and the day before, and whether they had marked aught suspicious in their clients that might point to their being involved in the impudent theft. Ali rafta baz tamami gunar maga bayad na gorandi sahib komak ke salam ke bage komak ke asbab mujda alar chi diga ki taviz deni hai zerdi se inar tamam koi kida ki tu komak shmo komak ke baz al tamam azar maga shmud viroz pariroz ke me qadar tale waz ke dil Ami imkan dare de meni yego storia yego emzina ami qissa ast mas involved shda basha ami na basha meni yezu shamil shmo storia tamam khabarin ki chiz guften. Each and all answered that they had not marked aught of the kind. Guft ira kam case page moj namda meni yezu ast basha duzi basha zi ka pamoj na gufte shadi bada karobar bada ki damzi karobar fayda namna namzi ka ba. The grandee was ill pleased, naraz, and tugged at his mustache. His glazed stare had in it a threat of bastinadas, whips and banishment from the city. The soothsayers were downcast. Destiny, taqdeer, which had suffered such indignity in their hands, suddenly appeared to them in a new and awesome light as a power that gloated in long-awaited vengeance on their discomfiture. Today, not only the beans and rat bones, but even the skull itself was impotent against it. It was Khoja Nasreddin's turn to answer. He repeated with the others that he had seen and heard nothing suspicious. The grandee gave an angry snort. Again nothing? Suddenly a voice was heard. Out of the niche. Platform ki taraf na ek thada opposite. Just as Khoja Nasreddin had calculated. Bilkul the tame the calculation. A malicious snuffling voice. But said you not that you had no equal in soothsaying for the recovery of stolen things? Magar आवाज में चीज मगर तू ना कहती कि तू बेजोरा ही दा चीज़ाई कि दूसरी चीज़ पैदा कर दो इसको. At the word recovery, the grandee picked up his ears. कि तू recover में तो नहीं? Wherefore were you silent then, soothsayer? कि तेरे में तो नहीं बस हम चार दान तो बांधा? He demanded, his glassy eyes kindling. Speak! His pent-up rage was seeking an outlet. I shall scatter the whole of your accursed nest. Reduce it to dust, the khag malidanim, and ashes. He roared. Guards! Seize the man! Girftar karo isko. Take that soothsayer, that knave, and flog him. Kamchin bizdin. With whips until he tells taaki nagufta where the stolen horses are. Or let him confess in public that he is a shameless liar. Ya pesh tamam khalq baidin jubuga ki ma ek drogoim. Flog him. Shalak him. The guards tore off Khoja Nasreddin's robe. Chapan mapan zura سپاهیا پارا کرد بادشاہ اولا شد جانچنه. Two of them ran under the bridge to wet the thongs. Delay was dangerous. Khoja Nasreddin addressed the grandee humbly. من قرنيت حالات در وزديز رفترية بس بسيار مؤدوانا grandee مخاطب شد قفت your unworthy slave आपका एक हकीर गुलाम lays at the feet of your illustrious lordship आपके ज़ेर साया. His humble prayer to be heard. मेरी एक दुआ मेरी एक सुन लीजिए. I do verily divine the whereabouts of lost things. ये वाकई मकारज़ में मैं गुफ्तमी तनुम की सामाना ही गुमशुदा तक जाए. And am able to discover the stolen horses. वम्मा काबिलियत दरुम की माबूगुम की आसपाद तक जाए. You are मितनी. Then why have you not discovered them yet? तवलचर पैदा नहीं दे दिया. Oh, illustrious Lord, Ali Janab, my soothsaying requires, Shartasta, that the man who has suffered from the thieves, Amunafar ki duzi shuda balish, should call upon me in person. Mara direct contact kana khodazu. Shikayat peshna bayra, kata ini tar ma namaz ma money changera, ini tar duzuna aspas man duzishta. Personal by the request kana ho. Otherwise, my soothsaying will not be effective. Which fayda na nazar. How long will it take you to recover the horses? Chika waqt lazim dare. Yas bar payda kani. A single night. Yaksha. If the victim comes to me today before sundown, از مغرب پیش اگر او ما خود از ما برسن بس یک شب میلگه اگر او صبح ما بس بسیار راز میشه لمبا میشه کهانی. These words caused a stir and whispering among the soothsayers. All tamam از نامو باو میتونه پیدا کنه نه مگه کمود یک شب پیدا. The face of the skinny old man, who had already severed the bitter taste of banishment in his mouth, lit up with hope. The grandee stared fixedly at Khoja Nasreddin with a look of angry perplexity. Namzi wala, bawar kanam na kanam qarshamam dalu basawa masda enemi mugamami tanam digich kas mugamnanami tanam. You dare to lie to my face? I, who know all your tricks and knaveries. I, who suffer you here on this bridge only because it is cheaper than keeping so many extra spies on staff pay. तमाम इसी तावीज़ दिया कि नहीं मगर तनख्वाही वाले दिखे तमामी जासूसार का तनख्वाह भी दी बस चंद निश्चर अंतर गश्तगार नमी दोनों गदागार तावीज़ दे हम जनाशर जोड़ना करने के नाम साच तेरे भाषा हम किस्ता बस खबरार बाय बेर सना शाम टेम की दागा दागा सी खल्क दाइसी खबर के डलता उन्होंने तो जैसे बचेश की तू दुरुन ये खो मुल्ला खूब खबर ना कि तावीज़ मिलिया कि what is the people thinking मगर you dare to lie to my face रुई बुरीज़ में दुरो मगिन चुनो I who know all your tricks and knaves तमाम tricks में खबर तमाम चुम्बुर ड्रामाने I who suffer you here बर्दाश्त अज़ी खातिर शुमार मनों on this bridge only because it is cheaper and than keeping so many extra spies on staff pay. अगर मैं शुमार directly spy इन चीज़ा मकदम enroll मकदम को बस भाई salary मिलता था उन्होंने बचाता कारण उन सुधर रही है अगर ये ना नाम को शुमार खुजूद जम करता तेर मकदम में There is no falsehood in my words. Oh, refulgent and excellent Lord. Na durog kai mogim bhai. Very well. Durog na mogina. We shall see. Baz malum monim. But if you have lied, agar durog uftadi, soothsayer, oh tavizgar, you had better not been born. Tu bas do to panyad mushi ki kash kit paida idna mushudi. Summon hither the money changer Rahim Bai. Kui kamra Rahim Bai ra. زود की तारीख में शदर The worthy Rahim Bhai is ill. Majoro. One of the medium chiefs of those who thronged around the grandee said obsequiously, Sahib Unajura. And am I not ill? Majorum the nazar. The grandee flared up. Am I not ill? I have not closed an eye these 2 nights. Oh Nagdom. Searching for those accursed horses. Am I to do this work for him while he lies about in bed? Manokar babezim ki ukhaw bacha ma inj kar zur pesh borum. Dushaw ma khaw Nagdom. Summon him. Zudbayro. Bring him hither on a litter. 8 guards, Ashtana, led by 2 medium chiefs and 1 major chief, hastened to the house of the merchant. The grandee was of medium height. Even barely saw. This created a disparity between his appearance and the high commanding rank which he held. Inal ira disturb magatho. Rank is higher, خارج بالا مگر قچ رزه غټ کی میز نه وي تر برابر نه مخرب. In order to remedy his deplorable default of nature, he always wore close-fitting top boots on excessively high, slender heels. High heel mabshi. Thereby enhancing his stature and grandeur. He walked to and fro upon the bridge, his heels clicking on the flagstone, clack, clack, clack, clack, then stopped, leaned his right arm majestically on the stone parapet, and slowly raised his left hand to his black moustache, which he began to stroke and twirl. A reverential hush reigned all around him. Tamam shi bas da adab. Janab, grandee sahab darog brutay kharchangmuna. And by little and little his anger cooled. Alibnam rafta im diga. Tantraq raiya. Kam aram shud. In moments of leisure, the grandee was no stranger to lofty meditation, and even derived pleasure therefrom as a token of his unquestionable superiority over his underlings. Is it not the first duty of a chief to inspire fear and awe in his underlings? He mused. The simplest way of achieving this is by flogging them one and all. Without discrimination. Taking good care that the chastisement, the punishment be accompanied by admonitions befitting the occasion, for otherwise its salutary effect will be lost. Acting shimuni kasej daraw dagam tejni qarar daray khud quraya mana bayad ek chand sota mota bukhra tamam search thabash turam orizmiş. Such reflection soothed aram kar the grandee. He felt as if he had soared upon the mighty wings of lordly wisdom into the star-peopled night heights, whence everything seemed small and insignificant. To be looked down upon with contempt, but not with anger. The glance which he fixed upon the skinny old soothsayers, while not being exactly kindly, seemed to have acquired a spiritualized quality and passed right through him without singeing him or otherwise causing him any injury. As to the actual guilt of the flogged one, he continued widening the circle of his thoughts. Such doubts should never have access to the reason of the chief, for even if the flogged one were not guilty of the offense for which he is being punished, he is most decidedly guilty of some other offense. وإعلان كده كي مروز مو نارس خاطري فلانا كار كست تب مني بس تماما تبنا بس فكرنا كي أوناي كي مثلا مكارنا كده باشا باس وشر تب خورده قد خود فكرنا درو بس justifyنا ورمجا هو جناح كنا كده لكن يجو جناح كده نا. The profundity and magnitude of this last thought caused his breath to depart. لكن نفسه بروشد. Higher than that no mortal could ever aspire, for beyond it lay the realm of divine wisdom. He had soared to its very outer edge, and his mental gaze had been dazzled by the fathomless ocean of blinding light which had been unfolded before him. And هذه الجملة بتشيش بعد من يزيدهم داير لينا شاعريتهم. منظر كشيء ديجا feeling ردرو بياننا يا describe منا كيف تقولهم حالا. إننا شو مو surface تاش كدرينا. از خاطري difficult words. إذا فيك ينارا بس زيادة في خاندش نا كي بوليزي كارشنا word meaning ازي شونا بس expression ازي والو شونا ناول فازاي كي كامز نا كونا مستا مثلا grandi كيست مالنا دي روزا chief of police مو قادي كنا خير صبر كبل ميتا होता है. The house of the money changer خو بورم طرف house of money changer was not far away. زياد دورم نبود. Within half an hour the litter had returned. بلكة دور چار نفر پشت كده. The money changer crawled out from under the silk curtains. Cosa mucizera litarra che duna fara spas me che duna fa spieš ne umaniš šta im parda filmai amu silk parda pasmana sallow of aspect and bloated of countenance and halj rang zard halj kharab with an unkempt beard which clung bits of pillows fluff. بخيام رشميش بخيام وشزاي بومبا كاز باليش كده تشسبيتها منام معلوم مش صافيش نقدر. Clutching his heart, groaning and moaning, ay baba yeah, he bowed before the grandee and said in a faint but sarcastic voice, Ali, madam, بخي आवाज बुरना मशा मगर थांस मुक ना दराओ. I salute the most illustrious and all-powerful camelback. Ay baba, what cause had he to rouse his abject slave from his bed of woe, a slave so mean and low that he is even unable to find protection in this city against impudent thieves? Nalam mana tanzam mora. Que मतलब ما चीज़ गुनाह का तो मी फकीर हकीरी गुलाम की यख्स में दूसरी शदाई दे या शार मित्र मिक्सम मो सेफ्टी न दे के एक दूना अस्मो बचाओ बाशा. It is precisely on that account that I have summoned the worthy Rahim Bhai. Rahim Bhai आपको इसीलिए हमने बुलाया है. To prove to him our zeal. साबित करने के मुझे the personal interest दरो दुंबाले कार गश्त रहे. In search of his lost horses. I am grieved. बेसार दिलम खराब शु. And troubled most excessively. What troubles the illustrious camelback? Chi taklif. Are not his taken stallions now certain to receive the first award at the races? Tu chiz gham dare. Ali gode to magar first number na mubra. Tabaltan se jari hai. This was an open blow. Direct am the taib college zadna. Tu kay gham gini. वाली अरब स्टेलियन गुम इन चंद रोज दिखाई हफ्ते दिखा मंदा खुदा चंद रोज मंदा रेसी शुरू में टेकिन अस दुबुर्दा तू कहीं काम की नस दुरो. Straight to the face. ये मुझे पंच बुद्ध दाने ग्रैंडी जब. The grandee paled and the rush come the zarchud. The shock of his loss and his illness resulting therefrom have confounded the reason of our worthy Rahim Bhai. رندای بخالیم که عقل مقل دست کار افتاده بخیزیار تنجن گرفته تو. He retorted with cold dignity. Here before you is a soothsayer. جناب برشما یک تعویزگر پیدا کردن who according to his words از زبان خودشی possesses extraordinary skills و تا کمال داره بچهش and undertakes to discover the lost horses. وعده کده که اونا پیدا نبرید. A soothsayer mani pesh tavizgar avde, and it was for this that my illustrious Lord has roused me. Kima pesh tavizgar bain. Ami kamal ke de tu, Janabi Chief Sahib. Me, a sick man, from my bed, as bistrim bal ke de ki pesh tavizgar marde ho gaye. Tu chirgam polisi. No. Let my gracious Lord have his own fortune told. Khudan chum bakht rwaz kinate. My age tawiz na mekhaim, and I shall withdraw. Marafto. So saying, Amir guftu, he turned away to depart. Wapas reishut. Guftali khud rwaz ko. Mara urde az bastari bimari bal ke de ki mainj deni tawiz wala kart halna. Tu khat tamam sipahi khaw gade. The grandee uttered with icy hauteur. With a cold tone. In this city, it is I who give orders. The most worthy Rahim Bhai will now please to hold converse with the soothsayer. He knew how to command obedience. Did that grandee. The merchant made a wry face, but nevertheless approached Khoja Nasreddin. Awala Mr. Kadbas, I do not believe you. Soothsayer, not so much as a farthing's worth. Yak paisa arzish nadar pez mai tawiz mawiz. I accost you because I am so compelled by authority. Mind jazi khate pez shtam ki mardara ud zor magbish. Two thoroughbred Arab horses are missing from my stable. Zuchu. One white, the other black, added Khoja Nasreddin. Opening his Chinese book. The whole city can testify to the truth of your words, O most perspicacious of soothsayers. Yani ala tawiz dedi ki waqai. The money changer said derisively. Yak dafa mood se badlisht. Guft tamam ishar kesta. Bali ka bastu khad cheez ka tasdeeq ka. Many have admired my horses on the day when they arrived from Arabia. Tamam ishar di daura. Taarif hum karte ki wah wah chia spicy as a feather. The white horse has a tiny scar. Jari mele Khoja Nasreddin. Amu safich kesta yek rizgak zakham dara. No thicker than a woolen thread under his mane. The thigh amzu. Magur ki tu pas kani the thigh zu qadari amzu yak thari muizu yak dana zakhm astam. While the black has a wart in its left ear, the mani gosh chapshi, the size of a bean. Qadar ek dana. Khoja Nasreddin calmly continued. وخول لغاز رفنا وتمام شهر خبر دار कि black and white है. तू चीज़ मर black and white मुगी. बस वो मगर ना बस further information मिला. मगर listen, white one चीज़ के वास कनी तो थाई मुया ऐसी. एक दाना ज़ख्मा वो दिगे जो थाई मनी गोश्त छप शे करना तो निशाने हैं. The merchant was taken aback. And that was mandek the fact. These distinctive marks were known to none. Each kas khabar na dasht nishani ara. But two, do nafar sirf. Himself and his trusted groom. No one else. Faqat khudchi wa khana wala ish khabar dasht. Yes khuda khabar shta nishani ara. The sneer vanished from his face. Amo tanz ki na bud? He said, "What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What? What Secret खबर दे भाई. You're right, soothsayer. बिल्कुल वाह देखिए रास मगन. But how did you penetrate? तुझ तुर family. The grandee too roused himself and drew nearer. Ali chief of police हम एक दफा मेरे चीज़ मुझे रहो. Khoja Nasreddin turned over a page of his Chinese book. Furthermore, the tail dum of the white stallion has a white silk enchantment thread woven in it. Yagreshmi bandam the dum zubastaya. And the tail of the black horse a black silk thread. कि वो दूम नहीं है निशानी है but a white horse कैसा white silk है कि वो मने सथा हजारा दूम इज़ू को बुझाया पैदा में देने तो बस black one कैसा एक दना black silk thread दरा नखी रेशमी बस्ता है दूमशी. Not even the trusted groom knew that. खानूम ममलायर खबर न दे तो क्या खबर शी. Enchantment threads had been plaited into the horse's tail. By the merchant himself in deep secrecy. As it was strictly forbidden on pain of imprisonment to resort to magic, spells and enchantment at the races. कि ये को डॉज माज नहीं है देखा ये वो चीज़ मिस दाविस माविस के देने लेकिन ये ऑलरेडी खड़ा रेशमी दागर बस्ता के दा कि वो अगर खबर सुना मिस्टर में कि चैंपियन ना मुझे पैदा ना मुझे फराड कर देना केमिकल खोरदा खुदा कुछ मुझे कारा मैंने कंपटीशन रिवाज नहीं है देखा लेकिन ये खड़ा
ताइस गिरते वाले गोड़े कि बुबरा.
Khoja Nasreddin's words filled the money changer with dismay. Ora? Not was the illustrious camelback left unmoved by these words. His thoughts tore off at a full gallop. Alu the fikr rafta, khodi camelback. Grandee. At this rate, I should not wonder if he does find them. Fast This is more than I bargained for. My duty is to display the utmost zeal in the search. But the outcome of it does not depend upon me. The horses are found or not, that is in the hands of Allah. Better that they were not, at least until after the races. Shaitan has sent me this soothsayer. But what can I do? Sorcery. If I frighten the money changer, catch him red-handed, drag out the investigations, then his Arabs will never come to the horse courses in time. क्यों परेशान जुदा कि आली नसरुद्दीन दरो दू में ज़रूर सीधा बच्चा मगर मैंने तरह निशानी आया ये मगर ये कर पैदा कर रेज़ बस प्लान है ज़माई हो कि गोड़ेज़ में ख़ुबाज़ मुकाबले ज़िबायद माये वना वापस द मैदान माँ चिकार करना बलेज़ इल्ज़ामी जादूगरी दे कि तो खो जादूगरी मनिया बस ये माँ बोलूँ केस करम खलेज़ी ये दजेल बन करम गोड़ा ऐसी कैसा खुना माये दरोज़ किया खोज की दजेल बन माशे दिको गोड़ेज़ गुजामा. What say you to this worthy Rahim Bhai? He demanded in the ominous tone of a judge. I know nothing about any silk threads whatsoever. Ali udhar munkir musha. Mukudam reshmi daga. Nakhirisham manamu ma khabar nahi. The merchant stammered. Ali gabzdana medana. Ban mushadrao. His face changing in such a manner as to completely betray him. Ale urch ki gidaro magau the cherries with the gaches aya. Tamam ras gufta rahiya. The kiafe ho. Perhaps it was the stableman. Munafar ki da stable on mu imkan darego nakh mahbas da kada basha. Ali min da zabrezu nafar ki da stable karna. Without my knowledge or the previous owner of the horses. Pasna sahib is na shayad bas da kada basha. Out there in Arabia. At this point, however, the bell thought himself of the fact that the horses had disappeared and consequently there was no evidence against him. Aliyarchi muga marchi bugu melela chunu asbani ek check kana diya na muga archi guftum michila. It is all a lie, he exclaimed with feigned indignation. The soothsayer is a liar and is a slanderer. If my horses were found, I'll magi akhir se majbur musha magi drog magai. Tavizgar Nasreddin drog magai. Agar aspays mein paida shud daminj rasida bud, they will be found tomorrow. The whole Khoja Nasreddin magai. They will be found tomorrow, inshallah. Wait. My book has more to say. Sabar ko digar chizam magai kitab. It says, Muga, among the nails driven into the horseshoe, on the right foot, the pai ras tarafshi, of the white stallion, aspis fed, there is one gold nail. Also a charmed one, Bablezum Jadushda. It is covered with grey paint, to make it indistinguishable from the others. A similar magic nail has been driven into the horseshoe of the black stallion. But I cannot quite make out on which foot, lekin kudam paya sabartu chipai chapa ishi kam malum nam se kudam paya magar ya kes paya is was magic nails mekhai jadui charmed silk threads reshmi nakhai jadu kada, the grandee murmured with a twisted smile. Uftinal pakada usdi bichesh tadil khmagadara जादू के केस में डालूंगा तुम्हारे घोड़े भी बंद तुम भी बंद रेसम जीत जाएगा. Officer, official duty compels me to start investigations. All by the investigation starts now. FIR by that. As for the merchant, consternation deprived him of the power of speech. Alu to gang shuda ke dan jawaz burna musha. Achar taraf pasav shud na. However, he did not remain in this condition. The habit of lying as acquired through long years of trading, came to his rescue. I do not understand what this soothsayer is talking about. I believe he is simply doing this to raise his price. Let him say outright how much he wants for his soothsaying. Ali pointed for the Nasreddin ki and what surety he can offer in case it be false. Lekin surety bhi diga paida na kari. The book of his soul was an open one to Khoja Nasreddin. बस किताब नफ्स जो वो बस पेश ख्वाजा नसरुद्दीन मतलब ओपन बुक है भाई किधर वो खानदार है और जा रहे हैं यार एकदम पढ़ा खुद चंदा much more so than the Chinese one. वो बुक की वो में खान बस Chinese बुक तो ज़्यादा clear वो में खान दरा हो रहा किताब नफ्सी merchanta. The merchant now had no doubts that he was dealing with a soothsayer who possessed a remarkable gift of divination. وكان مثل الأجداد كباشاي نامية قودنا فهميدي شيء خزينة مشا. The desire to recover his lost horses struggled in him with the sinister spectre of prison. एक तरफ जेल रिब्रिख में करना एक तरफ अस्पाई पैदा कर देखो इधर डील में खाएगा ना खसूस यार. Those charmed nails, the magic silk threads, the grandee who had nosed it all out. No one but the soothsayer could help him out in this predicament. Ali majboor है कि रलाई करना बोले मुझे फज़ी डील करना ले. ग्रांडी रिबेल ग्रांडी दराव इंजी गाड़ गाड़े लगा दरे एक तुर बननों कि तुर द जेल में नज़ुम कि FIR काटनों तुझे दुख दे. The price and all the rest of it must be arranged only between us two. ये तमामी मामलात रपस मोस्तु बाय देख जाए कि तना तना है बाय मामला. The price and all the rest of it must be arranged only between us two, before two pairs of eyes, said Khoja Nasreddin, addressing his words to the merchant's most burning and secret desire. Cannot a third be present? The grandee said anxiously. No. For then, my soothsaying will be ineffective. The grandee was obliged to submit. He moved away and ordered the guards to clear a space. Within a minute, Khoja Nasreddin and the merchant were out of everybody's hearing. The chief soothsayer tried to slink back into his niche, but was kicked out therefrom. We are alone, said the merchant. We are, said Khoja Nasreddin. Yes, we are. I cannot understand where those nails and silk threads could have come from. We shall find out in a minute. Said Khoja Nasreddin, reaching for his Chinese book. Nay, soothsayer, the merchant answered hastily. That is an affair of yesterday, whereas we must think of tomorrow, of the future. Khoja Nasreddin finished the sentence for him. Precisely. It would be a good thing, soothsayer, if the horses could be returned in their, their original shape. Yeah? You know what I'm talking about? Without the nails and the silk threads, you mean? Original मतलब की दिखे चीज़ अच्छी स्पीड ना वाशा मेख रम दूर कनी थार मारम पैदा कनी मारम दूर कनी अमीर मगी तो. Without the nails and the silk threads, you mean? I understand. No, not so loud, soothsayer. And now, what is your price? My price is a moderate one. Worthy merchant, قابل احترام جنابي تاجر صاحب, 10,000 tangas. 10,000? Merciful Allah! It is half of what they cost me. With their transportation from Arabia to Kokand, they cost me 20,000 tangas each. You mentioned a different price to the illustrious camelback. Do you remember? There in the shop, 50 10,000 Piatasta Gards dedi. Almigda 20,000 kırdı. The merchant opened his eyes wide. İrem tuştur haberi. Verily, the omniscience of this amazing soothsayer went beyond all permissible bounds. يخو بيخي يتحد نادر أي قفتو يزي تمام جزء من قرنا فقط بيجويش يعني. And all this comes from your book. يتمام رتوز كتاب نخان. The merchant said after a pause in odd voice. يتمام رتوز كتاب مجيتور. Yes. بله. A remarkable book. Where did you get it? عجيب وغريب كتاب यार. तू इस जगह दी थी. In China. China or that? Are there many books like this in China? هذه كتابة زيادة. This is the only one in the world. حق راس مجيتو. Praise be to Allah, Alhamdulillah. May His name be exalted. It is terrible to think what would be with us tradesmen if 100 such books were to appear in the world. خوبه که دیگه همزید کتابانی اگر نمو تاجرا خو بیخ مکنده. Shut it, Banku, Susir. Shut it. The sight of those Chinese signs, calligraphic, afflict my heart. Very well, I consent to your price. Bas Banku mi kitaba Banku tu, ami karakter nangan chan mugitu. Amu price ma mitun. Do not try to cheat me, merchant. Dokabazi nahi karo. I am disarmed, and that book in your hands is like a sharp sword. مگه ما چیز کار میتونم؟ ما بغیر کدام هتیار تو شمشیری کتاب والای شمشیری کتاب دادیست تو ما چیز فرار کنم پس. Tomorrow you will receive your horses. You will receive them without silk threads and gold nails, as agreed upon. A deal ho gaya. Get the money ready. Rupir tayar karo. Gold. Tila mein khaye. In a single purse. The yak bag. And now let us perform the last rite. Deal? Okay? In albiya ki aakhri zera manjam bidi. Khoja Nasreddin uncorked the gourd and sprinkled some of the magic water. Zarwazmana kamam tar pash mida aw over himself and the merchant. The grandee, the chiefs, the guards, and the soothsayers watched all these proceedings in silence. The skinny old man, chief of the soothsayers, was sickening with envy. Alu kalani zi tamam tawiz gara mudigam dar khordari da bariya. Twice had he tried to sneak up to the talkers. Do the way try get kas passport ek dafa baya gosh kana chiz mein gaya. Ek azil wasta ek pul magar do dafa. And twice had his design been thwarted by the guards and had kicked him away. When he heard the price that had been charged for the soothsaying, he writhed. 10,000! He cried hoarsely and fell down in a fit. No one raised him up. For all were stricken dumb. Digam gang shudad. Unaq beushnash dad magar gang shudad. 10,000 charge kada barezi. Amazed at the incredible price, the grandee coughed significantly and smiled, but said nothing. But when the merchant bent his steps homeward, a whole flock of spies followed in his tracks. Follow him. That means that I too will not escape their attention, thought Khoja Nasreddin. Khoja si programa, iska matlab hai spas gana, spas zira spas mamre. And he was not mistaken. Looking back, he saw 3 behind him and another on the side. Shinacht ki najas saya. Soothsayer, said the grandee, beckoning Khoja Nasreddin with his finger. Isharamana. Remember, the horses may not be returned to the merchant save in my presence. That basha kya urdi ma baid basha munji. Kya asbar to urdi bas recover kade. And there is no need for you to hurry in this matter. मारो अजला जरूर नहीं है मतलब समझा करो ना कम अगर डिले इम्कान दरा. And mind, the silk threads and nails do not disappear by any chance. नाखि रेशमीम गुम ना मुशा और मेख तलायम बजाय खमायत बाशा. If you do not wish to rue the day you were born. मगर ना शेमान मशी की रोज़ की पैदाइश दे अगर इकारा न करे. Khoja Nasreddin rolled up his carpet and quitted the bridge of the beheaded, followed by the venomous whisperings of his fellow soothsayers. The spies followed in his wake. And this is the stop of chapter 13.